Hello there, here are 5 totally completely free effects plugins that really work, that I use practically every single day in a lot, if not most of my tracks. I've had no problems downloading them. I don't have any problems running them in Cubase. They're free, why not download them and try them? Let's get into it now. Okay, so let's get straight into this with the first one, which is Oril River, which is what I refer to as my dirty reverb. It's a really excellent reverb unit that I will just sort of stick onto stuff without thinking about it, and it's default. I'm using Diva here. Let's just switch this off for a minute. That's probably not the best patch actually for demonstrating this. Let's try and find something a bit more punchy. That will do. Okay, so here we go. Without. But for me, it just gives like an instant result, and it could also go really big with one knob, which I love. And it has a number of presets on here as well, which to be honest I don't use a lot, but things like Deep Cave I've used before. Huge sound, great reverb. It's free. What's not to like, really? Not great for orchestral stuff, but for well, I don't know, I've never used it for orchestral stuff, but for like sound design and synths and things. Sounds really nice. Okay, next one is A1 Triggergate. I use this for making sort of repeating, pulsing patches. Now what we need is a, let's just switch it off for a moment. What we need is a something like a polysynth sound. Let's just switch the delay off for a minute. That's fine. And I want something that's just a little bit longer, more sort of pad-like, really. Dream synth, maybe. That will do. So this is it straight out of Diva. What Triggergate will do is this. And of course there are a number of different presets. All of course tempo synced. You can change the release on it, which actually makes it more or less choppy by playing with the attack and release a little bit. If we go back to this one, for example, we can soften the attack, make the release a little bit longer. Fantastic. I do use that a lot. It works really well with all sorts of long sustained sounds. It also sort of works quite well in combination with a reverb. So for example, if we just put Oril River back on again. Quite nice. I think that works well. Okay, let's switch both of those off. So that's Triggergate and Oril River. Next one Ah, this is a great one. This is Valhalla Supermassive, which is literally as massive, the most massive supermassive reverb you could sort of imagine. They're not sort of clean reverbs. They're more sort of the fun effect reverbs. Let's just find again a short sound on Diva to try this out with. So again, perhaps let's try something percussive, shall we? And let's just switch Supermassive off so we know what we're hearing. Well, that one's got quite a lot of reverb on it anyway, so let's not use that. I'm wondering if I've still got the reverb on, because everything sounds very reverby. There we go. I've got Oril River on still. Okay, there's the sound with Valhalla Supermassive. That's just the default. That's not me. So long reverb, repeating echo, slow attack. Now there's so many presets on this. So there's a whole thing of echoes here, eighth note echoes. For example, vocals is quite cool. There's a lot of moderation effects on here, which are great. Some straight reverbs and some sound effects. The pulsars are really good, I think, if I remember. And some of these reverbs in here are absolutely phenomenally big. I mean, that's seconds and seconds and seconds and seconds. Again, great for sound design. Wouldn't use it on live instruments or strings or anything. That's still going. But Valhalla Free, Valhalla Supermassive, fabulous. And still from Valhalla, the Vallahalla Delay, I don't know quite as well, but this is really, really cool too. Rather than it being a straightforward delay, it does all sorts of pitch changes. It's got some really good reversers on it actually. Let's try that. That's cool. Some great effects on there. What's this got? Ducking verb. There's so much stuff in here. So obviously you've got these main things here, then you've got these sub menus, and each of these has got multiple effects on it. There's also all of these designer presets as well, Richard Devine and Simon Stockhausen, as well as loads in there. I've never even looked at those. So many effects, and you can do so much just with the Valhalla Supermassive and Valhalla Delay in terms of sound design and creative sort of sound mangling. It's amazing. So there we go. We have Oril River, which is, as I say, sort of dirty sort of reverb, quick and easy. The Triggergate, great for making pulses. And then the two Valhalla plugins here, the Supermassive and the Delay, great for mangling, sound design, changing stuff, making wacky, crazy sort of sounds. This one here, this one is the TDR Feedback Compressor, which I really, really like in its mastering glue form. I tend to put this down so that it's not making any makeup. And then just pop the ratio down a little bit until it's just starting to clip. This is great to meet. Now, I'm not an expert in compression by any stretch of the imagination. I really, really do not really know what I do with compressors. However, putting a really good glue compressor on your final master bus can actually just help just sort of stick everything together, stops things from poking out, just somehow sticks things together. And to my ears, this TDR feedback compressor does that really, really well. It comes when you put it on by default, it makes up 3 dBs of gain, which also makes it sound better as well. If you need to flatten that down so you can actually hear what the effect of the compression is, rather than it just being louder. And that works really, really well for me on all sorts of things. I use that on a lot of my tracks on the just a tiny little bit of glue compression on the right on the master bus. Another one I use practically on every track is the YouLean Loudness meter. Now, I think in Cubase there is probably one of these somewhere, but I tend to just stick this on because it's what I've done for years and years and years before I got this version of Cubase. Let's switch to the T-back compressor off. So on this one, this just tells you what your LUFS is. It gives you an integrated and a short term. It's basically a loudness meter, and it works perfectly. This is the reset button here, and it gives you, in case you don't know, an overall sort of average loudness level for what your track is. And a lot of libraries will ask for tracks to be sent to you if you're mastering them, particularly at a certain LUFS level. Most libraries, thank goodness, do master stuff for what, but it's useful to know what you're sending things out at in terms of loudness. This goes, generally speaking, right at the very bottom here, right at the end. It's the last thing that goes on. And finally, what I'm currently using at the moment, which is this is a free from RIA plugins, Restream. It's the standalone plugin from I'm trying to think what their DAW is called. It's completely escaped my brain now, but I'll put it in the Reaper. It's there, of course. It comes with Reaper, but this actually is one way, a very easy way of allowing me to stream what's coming out of Cubase here into, well, I'm recording on OBS at the moment on another screen over here, and this is the little piece of software that basically sends the stuff from Cubase into OBS. I think there's other ways of doing it. This is really, really simple and straightforward. It works for me. Seems to work pretty reliably every time. Okay, so there we go. That's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6 totally free, 7 because I've got the loudness meter down there. Totally free plugins that I have used for years, almost on a daily basis. That I would really, really, absolutely recommend that you check out. They're free. What's to lose?